All right, so welcome to Off the Cuff. This is episode 3. It's a little podcast about three guys talking about anything we want. We've
Any.
done movies, a little bit about life in the first episode. Here in episode 3, I think we're doing some NFL futures, which will be interesting. I'm Roger. Tonight's drink that I'm starting off with is a 60-minute IPA from Dogfish Head. Um, it's pretty good. Big IPA fan. Who isn't?
Me.
But yeah. All right, Mike. What are you drinking?
I've got here some bourbon. It looks really discolored on film. I got some Four Roses small batch. It's hitting just perfect today. I've got a little bit of ice in there, to mellow it out just a little bit.
Nice.
Nice. I like that. And I'm drinking just those Eckies. Amber Especial.
So the most interesting man in the world. The Amber Especial.
I'm probably butchering that, but pretty good. Not bad.
All right, so I feel tonight's episode is I don't know how it's gonna go, to be honest. I got a lot of information here. I feel like I want to get everybody's answers for this in a little bit.
Why? So you could play it back later, see if we're how spot on we are. Okay.
Well, I really technically don't have to write it down because we have the evidence here.
Yeah, I mean, this is really early. I mean, the draft just happened, obviously, but injuries could happen, things could change, though. But it's fun, still fun to do. But it is early.
I had a lot of fun looking at some of the information I got. Mike, what were some of the interesting futures you saw?
Well, the reason last time we quit, we were asking each other, what should we do? And one of the reasons I picked NFL futures is because one, I don't do a lot of sports betting, and mostly because I'm really, really bad at it. Like, I think I'm worse than just randomly picking teams based on no information, just throwing darts. I think I'm worse than that. But I still like, what I do like about sports betting is futures and sort of prop bets on sports. And so that is kind of like, just throwing a dart in some respects. But so now is the best time. Like, if you wanted to gamble on who's going to win, AFC Championship, NFC Championship, or just win the Super Bowl, now's the time to place those bets because they're the funnest and the odds are probably the best you're going to get so far. So, let's just say that you were going to bet on 3 different teams to win it, right? Right now. So I'm going to vegasinsider.com. And their top 3 teams right now are in this order: Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay, and Baltimore. So let's say we were going to bet on any one of those and we bet $100 and the Ravens win it, we'd win $1,200. I mean, that's a fun bet, right? Those are bets that you look forward to. But if we were to do this, say, 4 months from now, it's not even going to be that close, not as juicy, and maybe not as fun to talk about either. So that's why I picked this. And so I look at it because I am probably, and this is 100% because of both of you, I pay attention to Detroit and I pay attention to Carolina just because of you guys, and I kind of like them because I'm paying attention to them. But outside of that, I'm just like, I just watch it for pure entertainment value. So I don't have any horses in this race, really.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I think if you are like 60% right as a sports bettor, you're like one of the best in the world. Like it's hard to do this, and the stats that people come up with is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's talk about they're kind of our team, I guess.
Well, here let's Mike, let's iron out a couple of things now. So this is not
Okay.
about who we want to win. This is about what makes sense in the betting world. What is a good bet? Now that's a big difference, right?
It's a
Or who
huge
do you
difference.
think? Right. Who do you think's going to win? Who do you want to win? And what makes a good bet, right? So if you bet $100 that Kansas City is going to win the Super Bowl, well, that's not really a juicy bet because if you do win, I mean, if you do win, it's it's not
You don't win a whole lot.
you don't get your bang for your buck if you pick the obvious
Yeah.
winner. So this is kind of digging through the weeds a little bit and trying to see what makes an actual good bet, makes a fun bet, what makes an interesting bet. So that's just want to lay that out there first.
Yeah.
If that makes
Thank
sense,
you.
guys.
That's very true. I will say this though, there's no way I would be able to tell anybody on any kind of analytical level what would be a good bet, other than what I can tell you is what I think would be a really fun bet. That's about all I got.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bad sports bettor.
So looking at the wins total.
Let's save the Super Bowl pick for last.
Okay.
Let's
Super Bowl
go.
pick for last.
Yeah.
You were talking about wins, Roger?
Yeah. So basically, what I looked at today was the projected wins for each team, and I think there are some clear winners here. Do you guys want to go through each team's wins and say whether you're going over or under?
Yeah, let's do that. I mean,
yeah, because I think if you're a sports bettor, this is where you look for your edge in like over under, right? So if you, as an example, on Vegas Insider, Detroit is slated at 5 wins, right?
Which is crazy.
Like if you think that's like, there's no way they're going to do better, there's no way they'll even win 2, like there's your edge, right? That would be your angle.
Right now, they're predicted to have the second worst record in the NFL.
Does that make any sense?
See,
well, let's talk about. Let's start there, and then we'll.
No, wait, hold on. Let's pick Detroit and Carolina towards the end.
Okay.
There's a couple of juicy ones that I think, like when I saw them, I was like, there's no way this team is predicted to win this many. So one of those teams for me is the 49ers. The 49ers last year were 6-10. What do you think their projected win total is this year, Rodney? They just drafted, they had the number 2 pick. They drafted the quarterback from, oh gosh, I don't even know where now. So basically, people are saying that they're going to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Actually, I don't even know. That was during the draft. Anyways, the win total for the Niners over and under is 10.
Yeah, I personally think that's a little high. I mean, wasn't Garoppolo injured a big part of the season last year?
He was.
I think that factors in a lot with these numbers. I think Seattle is kind of. I'm not sure if they're regressing a little bit. I mean, they still did pretty good last year, but I think this is just a lot of it is just from the year that they had, not last year, but the year before. I think they're kind of going with last year a bit of a miss year just because of the injuries they had. So I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that has a big factor in it. But if I had to put money on it,
I'm saying under. I'm saying under, way under. 2 games under that.
Yeah, that seems like an obvious under. This almost wants me to gamble on that alone.
Yeah, so they won 6 games last year. They do have a weak schedule this year. They have the 19th easiest schedule.
Maybe that's why. Maybe
I mean,
that's why they got
Joey
him 10
Bosa
wins.
was injured too last year too, and he's a stud. So
Yeah. So the Rams is an interesting one. They've got Stafford. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, the 49ers drafted Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. That's right. So they drafted a guy who didn't even play college football last year, who went to like,
Dude, no way.
I know that just seems way high. So just to give some context, the Seahawks won 12 games last year, and they're only projected to win 10 wins. So I thought that was interesting.
Wow.
So we could stay in that division. Seahawks 10 wins. You got the over or under?
I'm going
Yeah.
under with Seahawks.
I'd go under too.
Really? So I
Yeah,
think
I think the run game is kind of need to get a better run game. I think, and I think I love Russell, but I think he's getting maybe a little bit, getting some wear and tear on him a little bit. So I'm going under with that.
yeah, there was some turmoil.
He's not exactly the happiest camper, right? If I remember right.
Yeah, I wish I knew there. I don't remember the Seahawks really not having more than 10 wins or under 10 wins. I guess I'm going to go under. Staying in the same division, Rams. That's an interesting one for you and I, Rodney, and Mike too, because Stafford's there. Obviously, we want to see him succeed. He's in a new system. They got the hot coach, even though people think he's been figured out. Do you think the Rams get 10 and a half wins with Matthew Stafford?
No, I don't. I think Matthew Stafford. I like him. I root for him all the time. He's tough as nails. He plays injured. He's had a pretty long career in Detroit. Only thing with Stafford, he's never won a playoff game. And I think he just can't get. I haven't seen him get over that elite hump yet. Honestly, he does have the numbers every year. He has the yards. They throw the ball. I mean, Detroit has been last in rushing for so long that I mean those. I think those stats are skewed a little bit with Detroit because they had like two 100-yard rushing games in like
10 years.
last year. That yeah. So they never run the ball. So I think that skewed a little bit. I just have to see it before I believe it. I think Goff and Stafford are almost the same quarterback.
I
To
think
be
so
honest
too.
with you,
Yeah.
they have kind of the same. They're pocket passers. They see the field well. They're well coached. They're patient in the pocket. So I think they kind of wash each other out. But I'm going under.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I would go under too. What was the record last season? Do we know?
So last season they had 10 wins. So it makes it kind of a juicy bet. I do understand what you're saying, Rodney, because he still doesn't have a signature win. Like the signature win for me, for Cam Newton was like week 6, 2015. They went to Seattle, which is one of the hardest places to play in the NFL. That game was back and forth. And Cam, with a minute and a half left, drove 80 yards, put them up, and they won the game. And that was the game where I was like, holy shit, Cam Newton is the real deal. And
Yeah.
I've never seen that game from Stafford. He's had a few good wins, but I think his win record against winning teams is terrible. And that's a product of playing for the Lions too. So I don't know. This one they could be a 5-win team or they could be a 12-win team. This one's just so up in the air for me.
Yeah. I mean, he has better pieces all around, especially on the defensive side in LA,
he's
obviously.
got a ball in defense, dude.
Yeah. So maybe that'll
I'm going over just to be controversial.
So I think that's why the over is pretty high, just because of the defense.
My heart wants to say over, but I feel like
You've been burned too many times, Raj, with
I
Detroit.
know,
So
man.
I hear you.
Yeah,
man.
but we're not talking about the Lions. Remember.
I know.
But it still
But
lingers.
Stafford is kind of the Lion. He's like he's the Lions.
He was definitely the heart of that team for 10 years.
Yeah.
I remember for like 3 years in a row, I was like dead set on having Stafford as my quarterback in fantasy.
Oh, in fantasy,
Worked out well.
man. Yeah, he would get, because they're always down, and he'd always have to chuck.
You have to throw the ball. Yeah.
I'm gonna
By
go.
the way, remember how we were all like, "There's no way Seattle will win that many games." So I went and looked up Seattle's record. Seattle has improved their record every year since 2017.
Oh yeah,
they just get better and better and better.
You almost take them for granted how good they are, really, because they win so much. So if they do have like not an off year, but if they don't make the Super Bowl or they don't make the championship game, you're like, what happened to them? Because you're so accustomed to them to winning. But
yeah, I'm gonna go over with the Rams, because if Seattle's only winning 10 games, then the Rams got to take a few off. And then the last team is the Cardinals in that division. They are at 8 wins. They won 8 games last year, and they have the 13th hardest schedule.
what are they projected at?
They're projected 8 wins.
I'll go over on that, just because that quarterback, what's his name? Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
He's just so dynamic, and I think that he wills wins. He's so exciting, and I think a lot of the young players are starting to play with him more. He's starting to grow into that leadership role. I know he was kind of a little timid at the first year. He's kind of a quiet guy, and a lot of people, said, you're not the typical maybe NFL quarterback that kind of takes control, short, kind of, takes control of the team. So I think he's got a lot to prove. I think he's grown. I think he's matured, and I think he'll start putting results on the field. And I think, I like. They have some. Who's that wideout that went to him? Hopkins.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins.
Him and DeAndre Hopkins have a good connection, man. That first year they had together last year.
Yeah,
they had some great play. They had some great chemistry. So I'm gonna go over, man, just because there's the athletic part of that team, the dynamic part of that team. They play indoors. They play on turf. They're fast, and so I think I'm just gonna go over on that.
So it's 8, right? 8 wins.
8 wins.
So you're either saying they gotta do 1 win better than last year?
Yeah.
I'm over.
Really? Or you could pick what is it called with a tie? Just wash or
well,
chalk?
I mean, in gambling, you can't do that. That's the whole point.
Oh yeah, so it's just over or under.
Yep.
That's
why they do half games. That's why they do a half game. Like sometimes you'll see 8.5 because it forces you. You can't pick 8.5. You have to pick over or under.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go under, because out of the 3 other teams in their division, they have to play the Seahawks defense, the Rams defense, and the Niners defense. So I'm gonna go under on them. All right. Let's go with the AFC division here. Let's go with AFC East. Bills are projected 10.5 wins. They had 13 wins last year. Their strength of schedule was 23rd. So it's on the easy end of strength of schedule. 10.5 wins. All right, I'll go first on this one. Man, it's hard to say. Dolphins are a good team. Pats are going to be better this year, but they do have an easy schedule.
Well, did they get better or worse from last year?
I mean, I imagine they got. I don't know. I don't know what their strength of schedule was. 10.5 wins though. I'm gonna go over. They they've got a great defense. They've got a good coach who used to be the defensive coordinator for the Panthers. Basically, Buffalo's like Panther North. So I really do like them. I like Josh Allen. He's only gotten better and better every year. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over.
I'm taking the over on that one too. I like Josh Allen. He's convinced me that he's going to be a great quarterback so far. So their division is kind of weak. With Brady out of it, I wouldn't say totally weak, but it's not the same obviously as years before. I think they have a great home field advantage, great fans, and I like
Yeah.
their team. I think they were pretty impressive last year. They got a lot of, I mean, I think they could prove they could be winners. So I'm definitely going over on them.
All right.
Hitting the over two.
All right.
Hitting the
The
over
over.
two. There's 2 wins. I mean, think about it. They could be worse by 2 wins, and we'd still win that bet.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's go with Dolphins. They're projected to win 9. They won 10 games last year. They have the 27th slot and strength of schedule, so they have one of the easiest schedules in the league. Mike, what you got?
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over.
Over? What you thinking,
Yeah.
buddy?
I'm going under. I like Tua, but I think I think he's going to have maybe just a little bit of a sophomore slump. Just a hunch. No data to really back that up. Obviously, just a hunch.
You know, I'm gonna go under 2 because the Pats are gonna be better and the Jets should be better. They won 2 games last year. Um, Pats. Pats are projected 9 wins. What are you feeling?
Dude, I'm over with the Pats. I think
Over 9
Cam Newton.
wins?
Yes, I mean I am. This is one of my kind of my picks that are not going to be as popular. Obviously, I just think Cam Newton had a bad year last year toward the end. I think he battled with COVID a little bit,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think yeah. So I think he's going to settle in, and this is his last stand, his last chance to really, prove to himself that he still could play at a good level in his career right now. And I think he has the experience. I think he'll build on that. I think he has great coaching, and I think they're going to set him up to make some wins. This might be the year that he stays healthy. I know that's a lot,
Been
maybe a
saying
long
that
shot
for
just because
4 years. No, 5
exactly.
years.
So right. So I think they'll game plan around him a little bit better. They'll kind of know each other. And it takes just a year just to get settled in a good offense and defense. And I like the Pats defense. So I think I'm going over.
All right, Mike, what you thinking?
They're at 9. That's a tough one. I think that, I mean, if I could, which I can't, I would pick a draw at 9. You know, a lot of me wants Bill Belichick to fail again miserably. But I do want Cam Newton to do well, because what I don't want is Bill Belichick to kick Cam Newton to curb, because that would make me angry. So I want Bill Belichick to say something publicly that he hates Cam Newton, and then Cam Newton wins it all for him in real dramatic fashion, just to rub it in his face.
You know what's interesting is Bill Belichick has praised Cam like no other, and so have a lot of the Patriots teammates have praised Cam's work ethic, which I think COVID hurt a lot of teams. It hurt Cam's ability to adapt and learn a new system. So I'm kind of leaning towards the over as well. What are you feeling, Mike?
I'm going over. They just have
Over?
to be better by 2 games, and I'm with you guys. I think they can be better by 2 games.
Okay. Jets. They're projected 6 wins. They had 2 wins last year. They have a terrible coach, a terrible GM. Who did they draft?
Who's starting for them? Quarterback.
Freaking
Taylor?
Wilson, man.
Taylor?
Zach Wilson, that white
Zach-
boy.
Oh yeah.
Guy from
Hey, well,
BYU.
Well, is he going to start? He might, I guess.
They got
Why
rid of
not?
they got rid of Sam Darnold.
But doesn't it get Tyrod Taylor?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man.
Why wouldn't you start Zach Wilson?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean,
What are you going to do? Only win 2 games? Oh,
what they win the year before that? 1 game, 2 games? I'm going under, man. If they're projecting the Lions to win 5 games and they're going to predict the Jets to win 6,
I'm going under. No way.
I'm under all the way. The Jets are just, I mean, just terrible. I'm going
All right. Let's go with everybody's favorite NFC division, the NFC East, or the NFC least. We got the Washington football team, Giants, Cowgirls, and Eagles. Now, this division, the division winner won 7 games. They had a total of 24 wins as a division last year. Patrick Mahomes had that last year. I'm just kidding. 24 wins as a division. A lot of people are saying that our Super Bowl champions are always going to come out of this division. They have 15 primetime games for some reason, even though they are garbage every single year. Washington football team is the highest projected win total for the team is 8, or for the division is 8. So Washington football team is projected 8 wins. You going over or under, Rodney?
Washington?
Yeah.
I'm going under. I just am. I haven't seen anything that any moves they've made in the off season to really propel them to be any better. I think that division is going to be horrible, like you said. And I just don't believe any of them. So I'm going under on that.
I'm going with Rodney. Definitely going under. Any team that can't pick a name in that amount of time. I mean, come on. You can't just decide on what your name's going to be. I mean, what were the latest NFL team names? The Titans? I mean, oh, wow, that's great. I mean, just pick one. How hard is it? And you're going to go multiple seasons as the Washington football team?
Well, I think they're actually really thinking about keeping a Washington football team. People actually like it.
Well, I disagree, and I think they're wrong, so I'm going under.
All right, so they won the division last year with 7 wins. Second place were the Giants. They're predicted at 7 wins. They had 6 wins last year. Saquon Barkley was injured for a lot of the year. Do you see them winning 7 games or more than 7 games, Mike?
No. I'm just going to go ahead and, this division's so bad. Why would I bet on anybody doing better than they did the year before? This is why I'm a great gambler, by the way.
I'm going under. I mean, I know Barkley was hurt, and
Daniel Jones. I mean,
Daniel Jones. He's
been garbage.
He's like a flash in the pan to me. He has a couple games a couple throws, couple flashes that he's going to be a good quarterback, but I haven't seen it, so I'm going under.
I'm going under too. Eagles. Eagles are predicted 7 wins. They had 4 wins last year. They got rid of Carson Wentz. They're going with Jalen Hurts. And this meeting is about to end.
Uh-oh.
What do you think real quick?
Oh,
I'm going under.
100%.
Under 7?
Yes.
All right, we'll save the last one. Saying I have less than